Hello everybody and welcome to Sheboygan A's Baseball. This is game 2 of our doubleheader against the Lombard Orioles. A little hiccup in game 1. We lost that one by a score of 4-2. Winning pitcher was Kevin Pauly. Jim Severson picked up the save going 2 innings. Felix Santiago, our starter, took the loss. Noah Emery pitched 2 innings of relief, did really well in those 2 innings. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up a game here in game 2. Starting lineup for Lombard, they have Kyle Gibson leading off at second. Batting second is Matt Schuler at first. Batting third is the center fielder, Alex Najera. Batting fourth, playing right field this game, is Pombo Nicolotis. Batting fifth, the DH, Nick Shue. Batting sixth, still at shortstop, Dave Marshall. Batting seventh is Kyle Genenza. Catching, Kyle Fenner in left. Batting eighth and batting ninth, Joe Consenza, the third baseman. Gibson stepping in to face Eric Zuberbier. First pitch high and away. Defensively for Sheboygan, we have Jacob Neese at first, Riley Palmquist at second, Harry Stelt at third, and Sean Tillman at short. In the outfield, Bennett Becker in left, Gus Walker in center, and Brady Zackerson in right. Caleb Lorbecky is catching this ball game. And we mentioned Eric Zuberbier is pitching, and Eric falls behind by a 2-1 count.
Eric, we did see him in our last broadcast, but as a batter for the Menasha Max, coming in for Sheboygan, coming in with a 4.64 ERA, 1.45 whip in 21 and a third innings pitched, 17 strikeouts, 8 walks, 23 hits, and he is 1-1 in 5 games, with 3 of those being starts. Now his 4th start.
So going to miss by Gibson. That makes the count 3-2. We've just started game 2 of the doubleheader. We'll be seeing Lombard again tomorrow in a doubleheader that starts at 1 o'clock. And a call, strike 3. Nice comeback by Eric Zuberbier.
And Gibson knew right away that was a strike.
Yeah, he didn't complain one bit.
Sometimes on a 3-2 you might see them, maybe they think it's a walk, maybe they wait a little bit. Right away, Gibson was out of there.
Matt Schuler's up next. Schuler playing over at first base. Defensively for Sheboygan, the only change is Lorbecky catching for Ian Mary and Zuberbier pitching. Otherwise, it's the same infield and outfield alignment.
Of course, it makes sense that the only change would be at the catcher position. Catcher, a very taxing position on the body.
A very nice halftime or between game presentation. There's a drive to deep right field, and the outfielder, just watch that one sail out of the ballpark. A long home run for Matt Schuler.
Schuler was not present in game 1 of this doubleheader, and making his presence known in game 2 right off the bat.
I looked at Walker and Zackerson, and they kind of turned around and just watched it. They never really chased after it, so you knew that was a long-gone home run. And Lombard jumping out to an early lead, and that brings up Alex Najera. Alex out in center field again this ball game.
Had a couple of solid catches out there in center in game 1.
A nice between-game presentation. Grant Berkovitz being inducted into the Sheboygan A's Hall of Fame. Had a chance to briefly talk with his dad, Terry, and Mom, Mary, and their very proud parents. Grant, very deserving of that recognition. Sitting right down in front of us. Hopefully he'll come up sometime during the second game, Charlie, and do a little interview with him. It's nice to have all those Hall of Famers sitting out on the field, too. Palmquist makes the easy play over to first. There's 2 outs.
I mean, in my opinion, I think the real Hall of Fame is us up in the press box.
Boy, oh boy. You're reading my mind again, Charlie. We got the A-team up here in the booth. Bill Wagner doing the field announcing. CJ playing the music and making announcements. Lucas running the camera. I think we're going to have a little more intense camera work this ball game. Charlie Heim doing the color this ball game, and I'm doing the play-by-play, Mike Martin. Bouncing ball right down the line, but foul.
One thing that I'm sure both teams are going to appreciate, as well as our fans here, is home plate umpire for this game. Pretty vocal with all of his calls.
I was watching him because I think he was signaling the count, but he put both hands right in front of his shoulders, so we can't see how many fingers he has up when he does it like that. You actually have to get your hands above your shoulders. So us guys up here in the press box can see what's going on.
I can see the strike calls, how many strikes there are, but I can't see how many balls.
Well, he signals well enough with his arm when it's a strike, but I mean when somebody doesn't know the count, like maybe Bill might have it wrong, whatever.
We'll trust Bill to
keep his
perfection.
No-hitter going. That catch made by Gus Walker, and that ends the first inning, but not before Lombard comes up with a run. When we come to the bottom half of the inning, it'll be Sheboygan down 1-0. When we come back, we'll have Grant Berkovitz.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Joining us is newly inducted Sheboygan A's Hall of Famer, Grant Berkovitz. Grant, thanks for coming up and joining us.
Thank you, Marty.
When we think about your playing with the A's, what memories stand out for you?
Just I came up when I was a senior, I came up and played, and
senior in high school.
Yep, senior in high school. I came up after our Legion was done and played some games. And memory-wise, I had just the battles on the field. The trips down to the overnight trips, and I don't know, just the friendships that have lasted 20 years since we've been playing, and will last forever, honestly.
When we've had other Hall of Famers come up and talk just like you are now, that's one of the things that seems to always come out, the relationships you make and those kind of memories. And when I think back about my playing days, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about your high school experience and then how that translated into your college play and with the Sheboygan A's.
So when I went to Milwaukee, we had 4 guys from Sheboygan on that team. So you had Aaron Sorensen, Mike Rowerdink, Charlie Reschke, and myself. So
that's UWM.
Yeah, and it was easy coming back. I knew a lot of the players. We came back and, each summer I think you could bring 4 guys from each college back. So there was 4 guys I played with all year, and then coming back and playing with high school guys that I played with for
Who were your
4
managers?
years. First year was Wilkie, and then Chad Gare,
Okay.
Brian Bankston, and then Sean Wagner.
Okay,
was
yeah,
the last
Wagner
one.
was a one-year guy. We were
Yep.
talking about him the other day. He might be the head coach at
Intern
UWM.
right now, yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, right. And that's what Dufek said in the paper, too. He
Yeah.
hopes that he gets a job.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about UWM. What was it like playing there?
Once again, I went there. My freshman year in high school, our shortstop was Charlie Reschke. I go to UWM, and he's our second baseman, and here I am playing shortstop. So, it was a lot of relationships I already had. I knew, and then going there and knowing Dink and Aaron, my roommate in college, I played AAU baseball with, so it was a lot of people that
You know who was really proud of you for, guys?
who's that?
Chris Wright.
Oh, Chris Wright. Yeah, a lot, man. Just think of the baseball games between 4 years of high school. All but one high school game I played on this field. My first game ever was at Field of Dreams because they were redoing the infield here
Right.
back in the day.
Holy cow.
So, yeah, a lot of,
That's quite an experience at this
Yeah.
ballpark. It's got to be
Yeah.
nice to come back.
and then, going and working with the kids after I was out of college and trying to do whatever I could to help the younger kids.
What are you doing now?
I'm an estimator at a body shop and handle a lot of the insurance claims and behind the scenes stuff
All right.
at the moment.
And liking it?
Yeah, no, I've been ever since I stopped
Did you
playing. I've
do
always been
anything
in the auto business.
with baseball still?
No, I ran the Thundercats in Lake Mills for a few years, which is a travel AAU program that Jacob Neese actually paid for. So I coached him prior. But no, as far as coaching, no, I would like to. It's just the time thing, it takes a lot of time, and I give Harry a lot of credit, man. It's a lot of years, a lot of at bats that guy's had of,
Well, we had on his sheet that he actually, I think last year he owned a business,
Okay.
a landscaping business.
Yep,
So, I mean,
I
he's
did hear
digging
that.
and stuff, and,
Mhm.
and then he's
And
coming
then
here.
Yeah,
Eh,
yeah, that was a really hard thing once you get out of college and you're working and then coming out here and trying to play 60 games. I give Harry a lot of credit for sticking with it, He'll be here in a couple years as a Hall of Famer. No doubt about
yeah,
that.
he's in for sure.
Mhm.
Drew Powers was up,
Oh, yeah.
and we were talking a little bit, about St. Peter's and playing
Yeah.
in the Sunday League, East Shore League, I
Yep.
believe it's called. And you go from playing shortstop, I mean, one of the elite positions, the best player goes to shortstop, and you're playing catcher. What's
Catcher.
going on? I mean, I told your dad, I said, what in the world's going on? It's like taking a thoroughbred and making him pull a plow.
Well, when you go from playing on this field your whole life and then you go and play on these small town infields, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to stick my face on that infield.
So it's a safety thing,
Yeah,
huh?
pretty much. And then at that time, Drew and I were always, he's one of my best friends, and we would always be playing catch, and I would always catch him.
Okay.
So then I'm like, you know what, let me just try catching. And I enjoyed it, actually. I really did like it.
I remember the first time I saw you play in that league, I was umpiring over at Chilton, it was, because I remember that. And my partner was a guy that I taught with in Chilton and over the years, and I said, Steve, right there, best guy in the league. He says, how do you know that? I said, he played UWM, he was a shortstop, and there you are catching.
Yep.
How'd you like your time in
it's-
that Sunday league?
It was fun. Being able to play. I hung out with a lot of Drew Powers' friends in college, so I knew a lot of those guys on the team, and it was the same thing, just going out a day a week, the guys having fun, the camaraderie. It was, it was a little cheating. Give me a metal bat,
Yeah, right.
Now it's wood bat, but yeah, it was. It was fun.
When you played with the A's, didn't they use metal bats
no,
at that time?
No, straight wood.
Okay,
It was
all
always
wood.
wood. Mm-hmm.
But college was metal.
Yeah, college was
Okay.
metal. Yep.
And given your choice of fields, what position would you prefer to play?
Oh, shortstop on this field.
Okay.
This was a lot of ground balls. I spent a lot of time taking ground balls on this infield where it's
And do you get back to Sheboygan very often?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to come back once a month. My sister just had a baby a little bit ago, so I come back and try to see my parents as much as I can. I'm not really too far, 2 hours away. So
where are you at?
I'm not, Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin.
Fort Atkinson,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not so bad. I remember the time I called your dad and you answered the phone. And I told you I was, and I said Mike Martin, and he said, "Hey, Dad, chocolate's on the phone."
That's all. I've always known you as chocolate.
I still got a few people that call me that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
how'd that ever start?
That was way back when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. My brother was a Golden Gloves boxer, so he was reading a lot of boxing magazines, and one of the articles was about a champion boxer by the name of Kid Chocolate Drop. And so
it's
just tagged it on to me, and it stuck.
Very nice.
And what's the future hold for you?
I mean,
that was a bubbling of the lips.
I don't know. Pretty content at where I'm at. You know, I'm happy with where I'm at in life. Got a good girlfriend. Really?
Serious?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we've been together for 3 years. So
okay.
I mean, she lives with.
Did she come and see your induction?
Yeah, she drove up.
Okay, great.
So yeah, I would, in theory, like to get involved with some youth sports a little bit. You know, but a lot of golf. Play a lot of golf now these days.
You know, I saw your dad and walked a couple times with your dad in the neighborhood, and he said, "Yeah, I'd like to get out and do some golfing." And I called him one day. He says, "I didn't get my golf clubs out yet."
No, I try to get. I think last Father's Day we went out and played.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just trying to stay competitive in something.
Hey, after one full inning of play, Lombard 1, Sheboygan nothing. Grant, thanks a lot for stopping up. I really appreciate it. Congratulations. You really look good, and keep up the good work, and all the best to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Lombard ready to start off the top of the second. Nick Shue, the DH and leadoff hitter for this inning. So we are working a pretty nice first inning aside from the home run to Schuler. His first pitch is in for a ball.
How are we doing?
We didn't set anything on fire yet.
Hey, that guy really clocked that home run in the first. That was really nice talking with Grant. Thanks for letting him use your microphone, your headset.
Gives me a little bit of time to rest the voice after the first game.
Yeah, you did a lot of talking that first game. But I think they knew I was in the building.
Probably.
We have the Snipe. That's the Sheboygan A's golf outing. That'll happen on August 20th. Want more information on that, go to the Sheboygan A's Club website. My wife sent in our check today with the papers we filled out. And she says, "Why am I doing this writing a check? Get papered online. It'd be a lot easier than doing this." So you people out there that don't like writing checks, you can do it online. It's pretty simple.
People keep saying that, a lot of people are not learning how to write checks. Yeah, that's true for me. I don't know how to write a check.
You didn't learn that in high school?
No.
Oh, that's one of
Didn't
the
really have
things I
that
actually
for-
learned. The only bad thing about writing a check is my handwriting is so scribbly. Nice play over to first by Tillman. 2 outs in the second. These two teams will match up again tomorrow in a doubleheader that starts at 1 o'clock. Have more Hall of Fame inductions between games.
Which will probably be the same sort of setup as it was today, where we'll have a separate stream for those Hall of Fame inductions.
So, hey, CJ, when you do this now, you have like a game 1 induction clip and then game 2. So when you go to YouTube, be 3 different entities, the games and then between games induction.
Yep.
Hopefully they could hear what was going on. I know you took one of the headsets and put it out the window.
Hopefully it was, cranked up the volume on the headset.
Well, I asked CJ about that. He does not have control over the volume of the microphone that's down there. But you're right. Diving attempt is not caught. It's going to be a base hit. Good effort out there by Walker, but give the hitter Genenza a base hit, and that brings up Kyle Fenner.
Walker not able to catch it, but did block it a little bit, prevents Genenza from going on to second.
Did you notice a uniform change by Lombard?
I did not until you just...
Yeah, they were in different unis for this game. You know what would really be impressive? If they came with a different set tomorrow and then a 4th uniform type for the last game.
You can tell which game in the series you are by what uniform
by the color of the
they're
uniform.
wearing.
Yeah, exactly. Little bit
Lombard,
like
CJ
Oregon.
says Lombard does have 4 uniforms. So we're still waiting on the orange and white uniforms.
And what are we up? Do we have 3 or 4? Not different pants. Another ball that drops in front of the outfielder. Holding up at second base was Genenza Sanal with 2 outs. Lombard has runners on first and second. That's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Joe Consenza. That's another thing. If you're not real clear on pronunciation, wait for Bill.
That's always one that helps out. Had that a little bit with the relief pitcher for Lombard in the last game.
Yeah, he had a...
Couldn't tell, was it Tim, was it Jim? Let's wait for Bill to say it.
Becky stole a strike there. Looked like it was outside, but he pulled it back in the strike zone. Umpire called it a strike. So 1-0 Lombard. Superbeer with a good breaking ball. Makes the count no balls and 2 strikes. Game 1, Lombard had 4 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Sheboygan 2 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. We're looking to change that in Game 2. And a good breaking pitch for strike 3. And that ends the top half of the second. After an inning and a half, Lombard up 1-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me smells the great taste of
of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Game 1 featured some nice defense, but probably the finest play of the game was from Davis Wilson, coaching in the first base coach's box. There was a ball that was hit foul, bounced off the fence up in the air, right to Davis, and he plucked it right out of the air with his bare hand. Probably the finest play of Game 1.
We saw a number of pretty impressive double plays in that game, too. Tim Moyer nearly had a chance to do the same thing as well, but couldn't quite get the execution off.
First pitch rides up and in to Riley Palmquist. Hank Liss on the mound for the Orioles. Ooh, not a good swing there. Waiting on deck is Caleb Lorbecki. Lorbecki hasn't seen a lot of action this year. This is only his 6th game.
One of the interesting things with Lorbecki on his stats is he has a .462 on-base percentage.
Joining us in the booth is Sheboygan A's Hall of Famer, former North High athlete, and former Holy Namer, Tommy Martin. Tommy, why don't you put that on if you can? Charlie's getting unseated again. We had Grant Berkovitz up here and talking to him. I was going through some old pictures, and I found this press clipping and made a copy of it because I figured you'd stop up in the booth again this year and you'd be interested in that. You're actually a pretty good-looking young kid. What were you that year?
Well,
Soft
you know,
junior?
when you're
No.
15 or 16, you always look good. But this doesn't have the year in it. Gosh.
Oh, yeah, it does. 1965. Stars it tomorrow.
1965.
Yeah, that's a long time, Tommy.
That's
58
that's forever
years.
ago. I don't even remember this. But I appreciate the picture.
Yeah, I thought you'd like seeing some of the old classmates and your coaches.
Yeah.
Or our coaches, really.
Mike Hutz.
Yeah, Hutz are up there. And Denny Seipel, you remember him?
Yeah, I do. God, I got to really take a look at this picture. But hey, Mike, I appreciate you taking care of this for me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for stopping up again. I
Yeah,
look
not a
forward to
problem.
these Hall of Fame weekends and you stopping in the booth and us chatting a little bit.
I look forward to them too, a lot. I mean, it's the only time I get up here.
You still have
And-
family up here, don't you? Doesn't your sister still live?
Yeah, I still live in Tennessee. Yeah.
Right. No, I know you do.
And you know, when you got grandkids now, it's a chore to get up here when we can. But I really enjoy coming up for this. I look forward to it every year.
Well, nice seeing all the other guys and
That's it.
stuff like that. And let me ask you the same question I asked Grant, and I may have asked you this a couple of years ago when you were inducted. When you think back to your Sheboygan A's experience, what stands out?
You know, there's so many things. I mean, we had a lot of fun. I loved playing for Chuck Zeikert because he was just a great guy and a good coach. I mean, he helped me a lot.
Well, being an infielder and you being an infielder, that's a natural
and
right there.
That's, you know, he helped me figure out a few things at shortstop that I hadn't realized, and you could always count on him to be upbeat, which was important to us.
He served as a manager for the A's, I think, for well over 20 years. He had a long tenure as a manager.
He did, yeah. But, for a guy that played like he did, he wasn't a big guy.
No.
He was pretty short.
Yeah. He wasn't pretty short. He was really short.
There were times when he even had to step in and play a position for us.
And he wasn't a young guy.
Because we didn't have enough guys to travel to wherever we were going, Green Bay or Oshkosh or whatever. But I really respected him, and that's probably the biggest thing I remember from those days.
Now, did you go to Stevens Point, UW?
I went to Platteville.
Platteville, okay. Did you play baseball there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. We didn't have a very good team, but
hey, you
know,
played
it
college
was still,
ball. Shoot,
it was still college ball. That's right.
Well, I always like to tell the story when you were in 8th grade and I was in 7th grade, and I can remember Don Monabach, our coach, bringing you in off the bench, and it was like instant offense. You always seemed to score some points in those games.
Yeah, that was fun. Oh, nice bunt. Nice bunt.
Gus Walker, Tommy, was a kid last year that hit .394. He's touching a little over 200 this year, and he's just been struggling all year. So for him to get a hit like that is really, hopefully that kind of gets him going. We're waiting for him to get rolling.
Break out again? Waiting for him to break out.
Yeah, waiting for him to break out.
Well, look, Mike, I'm going to get back.
Get back with your buddies. Thanks for stopping over, and
thanks for the
have
picture.
a safe trip back.
I appreciate it.
See you next year.
Hope so.
Yeah, right. Thanks again, Charlie. 2 outs. We have runners on first and second. Tillman up. Tillman was got a base hit his first time.
It's been a lot of moving around for me.
Yeah, Charlie, I appreciate you being so willing to give up the mic. It's easier than like me passing it back and forth for sure. So, ball gets by. Both runners are going to move up. Score that a pass ball. 3-0 is the count to Tillman. Harry Stelt would love to get up to bat with the bases loaded.
Jansen I'm not sure if it was intentional, but Janenza did a pretty good job of, he held it out for a while. Both Lorbecky and Walker kind of paused, weren't sure if that was going to be a pass ball, if that was going to just stay put. Ends up still advancing both runners, though.
Harry stepping in. Harry had a tough first game, going 0 for 4. Hopefully he can get a hitting streak started again. Good breaking ball by Liss in for a strike. Lorbecki's on at third, Walker at second, and Tillman at first. There's a fly ball hit out to center field. That's going to be an easy catch, and it is. And that ends the threat and the second inning. After 2 complete, Lombard still on top, 1-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
At Northwoods, we are a family. And like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Getting ready to start the top of the third inning. It'll be the top of the order for the Lombard Orioles. The only scoring in the ball game was Matt Schuler's long home run to right center field in the first inning. He'll be coming to bat again this inning. Hopefully he doesn't do that again. Kyle Gibson, the second baseman, is up. First pitch swinging. Walker with the easy catch. The offense has certainly not been very good since that game against Menasha. How many pitches has Zuberbeer thrown so far? 34. That's a pretty good number in the third inning. It's nice when you get those guys swinging that pitch early in the count and making it out.
This game, the offense actually doing a little bit better for Sheboygan. Already 3 hits, which I believe was our total for. We had 5 last game.
5 last game.
So most of the way to our total from last game. Just unable to capitalize on the bases loaded last inning.
I think if you take Brady's double in the first, take that out of the equation, that gives us 4 hits. And we got our 3 hits this game. I think the 3 hits this game are more footage, more distance than the 4 hits other than Brady's double.
Probably, yeah.
He had a couple of those little infield dinker hits.
Though Tillman had a pretty strongly hit single in the first.
Yeah, that was okay. Not very far, but hey, we need to get more runs. Schuler reaches on a hit by pitch.
Avoids the chance for a 2-home run day. For now.
Right.
Always got to be wary of people that you already know are home run threats.
Alex Najera, the center fielder, is up. Schuler getting a good secondary lead, but not getting real far off the bag until Zuberbeer throws the ball. Be interesting to see if they got him on the go. Third base coach is flashing a lot of signs. There he goes. Poor Becky's throw is way off the mark. Schuler in with a stolen base.
Tillman a good job of just focusing on getting the ball. Good throw. Think Schuler's out by a pretty decent margin, but he said throw just a bit outside. Well, more than a bit outside.
Yeah. Kept it on the infield, Tillman did. That was a good thing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's 1 out. We're in the third inning. Ball is popped up to left field. Becker comes in and makes the easy grab. And now there's 2 outs. And coming up to bat is Pembo Nicolaudis.
Nicolaudis played first base in the last game, now out in right.
He hit, I remember that. In the first inning, he flied out to Brady, but that one was way out there. If he'd have pulled that ball down the line, it would have been a home run. So he got pretty good power. Flew out to center his first time up in this game, but not nearly as deep.
I think it was Najera that had the hit to right. Nicolotis still did have a very deep hit, but Gus Walker was able to track it down. Still, we've seen that this 3-4 spot for Lombard has been very strong. Hank can hit the ball very well.
Pitch in for a strike, evens the count at 1-1.
Outfield about roughly middle of the outfield.
Yeah, they're straight away, kind of deep, but not too deep. Not shallow, that's for sure. That ball might have hit right off of Larbecki's mask.
Always good for the people behind the plate to be wearing all that protective equipment.
Isn't that the truth? Zuberbeer with a long pause that time, trying to freeze Schuler at second. And the pitch is outside. It evens the count at 2-2.
Schuler, I think with the speed that he showed, don't think he'd be willing to steal third unless...
Hey, won't have to worry about that, Charlie. Strikeout ends the third inning. When we come back for the bottom half, it'll be Zackerson, Neese, and Jurgensen.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Brady Zackerson is going to lead it off for us in the bottom of the third inning. We trail it 1-0. Even though we have 3 hits and 2 walks, we put a lot of runners on base, but we haven't gotten them home.
And one thing that I'm sure Tim Moyer might be looking for is to make, maybe be a little bit more aggressive on the base paths, because the offense today hasn't really been able to make anything work.
Oh, we're not hitting the ball hard. Even our fly balls aren't hit hard. In 2 innings, we've left 5 runners on base. In their 3 at-bats, Lombard has left 3. The first game was more of a kind of a pitcher's battle. I mean, only 4-2, not a lot of runs scored, not a lot of hitting by either club. But the difference was Lombard, what'd they have that one inning, 5 hits or 4 hits?
I think it was...
They scored 3 runs in the third, and they had 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and then, of course, that intentional walk. And that guy actually scored.
4 hits on 15 pitches, I think.
That's right. He faced 8 batters in the inning and only threw 15 pitches.
Lombard was being very aggressive. Showed a little bit of aggression on the base paths last inning with Schuler taking off, and was wondering maybe they could be willing to go to third if they don't trust Lerbecki's arm.
Jacob Neese is up. He's a Northwoods cleanup hitter. He was a strikeout victim back in the first. Hank Liss having a little trouble with the strike zone. Walked Zackerson to lead off the inning, and now he's 2-0 to Jacob Neese.
A couple of those throws have been pretty far outside as well. One that Janenza did a pretty good job of blocking.
Jacob Fall ticks that one right into the mitt of the catcher. Evens the count, 2-2. Brady's a base-stealing threat, but he hasn't gone yet. Good eye by Jacob on that breaking ball that broke down and out.
We were talking last game how I have my list of notes that I make just because sometimes I don't need too many columns for that. Didn't write down how many steals Zackerson has.
You did or didn't?
Did not.
Well, we can check that. We can use our technology device called a ruler. 3 stolen bases for Brady. I don't think he'll be stealing at second base. He'll let Jimmy hit. Jimmy couldn't check his swing. Yeah, 4 stolen bases, and it was caught once for Brady Zackerson. No balls and 2 strikes. It seems like when you're in a slump, Charlie, you're always batting behind, too. There's always got a strike on you or 2 strikes.
And some of it is just because you're eager to get out of that slump, so you're swinging at things that you probably shouldn't be swinging at. With someone who is more of a power hitter like Jimmy, can be a little bit more difficult to put bat on the ball.
Yeah, he's out in front of that pitch. On July 21st, former house band of the Brewers, Too Cool, will be playing here at the ballpark. They're going to run a concert. That ball hit out into our right field. Left field, it's over the head of the left fielder. It's at the wall. They're going to hold the runner off of first. Neese, he'll end up at third. And scoring from second was Brady Zackerson on the double by Jimmy Jurgensen. Going the other way. Good hit
and
by
Jimmy. Hoping that long-term gets him out of his slump. But right there, good enough to tie up the game and get 2 in scoring position.
9th double on the season for Jimmy. Like I was saying, that July 21st concert will be by Too Cool. It starts at 6 o'clock. Want to get out here early, listen to them, and then stick around for the ball game. If you're not going to be at the ballpark, Charlie's going to take the lead in announcing I will not be at the park that night.
One-man show for that one.
Yeah, hopefully we're hoping. There's a base hit. Hopefully to center. No, not deep enough. The shortstop Marshall able to drop back and make the catch on Riley Palmquist's soft line drive. Runner's not able to advance. It'll bring up Caleb Lorbecki. I was saying hopefully Lucas can show up that night and take a little bit of the responsibilities away from you.
Now I saw on his scheduling that he's available, but plans can always change. Might have something come up. I'm hoping not, but...
You might have to go to the playground and shoot hoops that night. Hey, you guys had a nice little chat with Drew Powers, former Lutheran High grad.
I know that even I forget when he said that he graduated, but a lot of the stuff's still the same over at Lutheran, mainly with baseball coach and cross-country coach.
Right, yeah.
Both
Lutheran Juris.
Tim Youth and Jeff Juris coaching for not even sure how long, but I know they were both coaching while I was there, still coaching when Lucas is there, and I think they were even coaching while Drew was there.
That pitch is outside. Evens the count now, 2-2 to Caleb Lorbecki. Nissan at third. Jimmy at second with his RBI double. Wow. Breaking ball in the strike zone. Lorbecki took and it was called strike 3. Leaving a lot of guys on base. Got to get these guys in. Bennett Becker. Becker was a called strikeout victim in the second. Trying to jump on that first pitch, but fouled it straight back. We're in the bottom of the third. There are 2 outs. Sheboygan has runners on second and third. 65 pitches for List so far. Make that 66 now. We're tied at 1. Another breaking pitch in there for a strike.
List showing some very strong breaking balls. A lot that have just kind of fooled the Sheboygan A's batters.
That's good pitching right there. You got him with got a breaking ball in the pitch before. Then he throws that outside breaking ball, hoping the batter will offer at it. And if he doesn't, it's only 2-2, so he's still got some pitches to work with.
Of course, normally you wouldn't want it to be that far outside.
No, you want to get it closer than that. You're right. And high and tight. Couldn't lay off the high hard one. Becker down on strikes. And that ends the third inning for Sheboygan, but not before they come up with a run and tie up the game. After 3 complete, we're all tied at 1.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
That's wrong. What a knucklehead.
Playing through our in-inning trivia and potentially people up on the Budweiser party deck maybe taking a little bit of the...
Mike Casper, one of the Hall of Famers, not here today. That's too bad.
That's the answer to our trivia question.
Bill got that one right, but then he always says Michael Casper. I know. That was actually, when I was thinking of it, that's my Bill Wagner question. Dave Marshall is up. Shoe, by the way, flew out the center. I think we were at the break when I said this to you, Charlie, but through 3 innings, Sheboygan has left 7 runners on base. That's unacceptable. Lombard, through 3 innings, have left 3 on base.
Sheboygan is always leaving at least 1 runner in scoring position. Last inning, not 2 innings ago, leaving bases loaded.
Ball hit the deep left. Becker makes a nice running catch over the shoulder. Got a good break on it. And I don't know if you noticed that, Charlie, but the ball was actually hooking towards Becker as he ran over, which made it a little bit easier, but he struck it well. Janenza, this catcher is up. Kyle had a single with 2 outs in the second, was stranded on base.
Marshall, that was a pretty strong hit, but Becker and Walker knew they had it right on the beat. Ball
hit in the hole between third and short and into left field. Another base hit for Kyle Janenza, and that'll bring up Kyle Fenner, who also singled his last time up.
Last game, the name of the game for that big 3rd inning, and throughout really the entire game, was Lombard able to get it between the gap between second and first, this time inverting the field with that hit.
Ball is popped up in foul territory. Neese going over towards the dugout. He actually had a play on it, but gave up on it. You know, the way you want to do that, Charlie, is, when you know there's a fence there, run to the fence. Get there as quick as you can, and then make your adjustment and try to make the catch. When Jacob went over, he kept drifting and drifting and drifting. He never got to the fence, and then when he saw it, he kind of panicked.
Anytime that you get a ball near the edge of play, it's difficult to call and difficult to catch. As I said, a lot of times the fence can be a little bit daunting.
Yeah, there's a warning track. Let you know. Fenner with a 1-1 count. Ball down the line, but foul. Zuberbeer again doing a good job of holding the runner with the long pause. Janenza, the catcher, didn't look like he wanted to steal anyway. It's on the move. No, he stopped and went back to the base. Good job by Caleb Lorbecki to not throw the ball, I thought. He had a shot at him, though, Charlie, I think, don't you?
It was pretty close. I think.
Yeah.
Was a pretty decent jump from Janenza, but Lorbecki just swallowing it with 2 strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ball is popped up on the infield. Tillman calling and catching, and that ends the 4th inning. When we come back for the 4th, it'll still be tied 1-1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Gus Walker will lead off the fourth inning for Sheboygan. Gus bunt singled his last time up. And he was one of those 7 runners that Sheboygan has stranded through the first 3 innings.
That bunt single, a little bit of a risky play with a runner on first and 2 outs. But ended up working out for Sheboygan in terms of at least getting a base runner.
He was passing the baton to the next hitter. I'm not hitting, so I'll just try to get on and leave it to the next guy.
And Sean Tillman did manage to get on base afterwards.
Yeah, Tillman got on. And we loved it to see Harry up with the bases loaded. And he hit the ball fairly well, but just too high. And
bit under it.
Yeah, routine fly ball to center, actually. First pitch is in there for a strike to Gus Walker. Coming into action today, Gus was hitting .209. You know, that's one of the things that was hard. There's a line drive out to right, deep. Right fielder going back and makes an over-the-head catch. Nice play out there by Nicolotis. He did a nice job at first base in the first game, too. Anyway, what I was going to say, Charlie, was when we had Tommy Martin in here and Grant Perkovitz, and I was talking, I'm trying to watch the game, at least get the scoring down on my sheet, and I pretty well kept up with it. But
the only difficulty I had was I couldn't tell if one strikeout was looking or swinging.
Yeah, that's not a big deal, really. You ran me out of score sheets, Charlie.
Yeah.
We don't have enough to cover tomorrow. I'll have to bring my scorebook in, and after that, I don't know what we'll do.
Been using 2 per game instead of the usual 1.
Right. We'll have to see. Hey, CJ, do we have long sheets of paper for that printer where we could copy score sheets? Need 1? How about 10? 11. Pitch inside to Tillman. A good fastball by Liss. Makes the count 3-2. We're in the 4th inning. We're all tied up at 1. It's been a dandy. First game took 1 hour and 34 minutes. It was a quick one. Oh, we get to see Tillman on the bases with nobody in front of him. Sean had a stolen base first inning. You remember he reached on that error by the first baseman? The bad throw. He did wind up stealing second.
That's right.
So he does have a stolen base today.
Tillman done a very good job of getting on base. Has reached in all but one of his plate appearances, I think.
Yeah, he walked twice, was reached on that error, and then the other time he struck out, so 3 out of 4 in game 1. He's been on base all 3 times this game.
Showing a very good eye at the plate, and fittingly, right behind him is Harry Stell, also a very good on-base guy.
Tillman's our leading hitter on the team, except for Roberts. He's hitting .500, 1 for 2. They weren't going to get him. Tillman had a great jump.
A great jump, and it seemed like he was almost there by the time the ball got thrown.
Great opportunity for Harry. Drive in the lead run. Harry very composed in the batter's box. A lot of other batters would have stepped out and said, "What are you looking at, ump?"
Ginenza really stole that one.
Another walk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks for Liss. And Stoddard, the pitching coach, coming out.
I think that the 6 walks so far by Liss, I think that's more than the first game had combined.
They're going to make a change.
I'm going to double check.
Looks like 51, Bill.
Taylor Sikorsky.
Well, they gave him a lot of rope, Charlie. You know, give him a chance, but just had trouble throwing strikes.
Lombard had been able to keep Sheboygan from capitalizing on opportunities, but Lombard not wanting to have those opportunities in the first place.
Yeah, 6 walks, 6 strikeouts. Only gave up 4 hits. Do we get the name of that kid?
Taylor Sikorsky on the mound.
Sikorsky.
Once again, we want to congratulate Grant Berkovitz on being inducted into the A's Hall of Fame this evening. Coming up tomorrow afternoon.
Taylor Sikorsky. It's a little bit difficult because we don't have the full rosters over here.
Right. Liss went 3 1/3 innings, gave up the 4 hits like I mentioned, along with the 6 walks and 6 strikeouts. He allowed 1 run. That run was earned. And he's responsible for the 2 runners that are on base in Tillman and Stelt. Our next broadcast, we've mentioned this before, will be tomorrow, a 1 p.m. doubleheader against Lombard. It'll be the club's Sheboygan Athletic Club's Hall of Fame induction day. Betty Zeikert, Donna Moyer, Art Kober, and John Van Vagel will be inducted into the contributors wing. Today, of course, was Grant Berkovitz, former player for the club. Played mostly shortstop.
CJ mentioning how it makes him feel old because he was in the same age, now getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Another person that you really want to see up with runners on base is Brady Zackerson.
Yeah, Brady up. Good speed at second. Hit to the outfield, you'd think would score Tillman. Liss finished with 83 pitches. That's a lot when you think he didn't even go 4 innings.
Tillman not taking too much of a lead off at second.
Ball struck out into deep center field. Tillman tagging up. He's going to go to third, and he'll make it standing. But it's out number 2 for Sheboygan. And that's going to leave it up to the Northwoods cleanup hitter, Jacob Neese. Jacob was 1 for 3 in game 1.
I believe he had a double in. That was his hit.
Well, struck deep to left, but not deep enough. Coming over and making the catch was Fenner, and that ends the threat and the 4th inning. Through 4 complete, we're still tied at 1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family.
Concezza is going to lead off the inning for the Orioles. I know this isn't game time temperature, but currently it's 77 degrees out, and we still have the hazy skies. Nice night for a ball game. Zuberbier working hard for the A's, entering the 5th inning. He had 56 pitches through 4 innings.
And one thing that, even in the loss that I'm sure Tim Moore was happy about was Noah Emery's performance. A lot of the pitching performance has been pretty top-loaded. We have a lot of people who are doing really well and some people who have been struggling this year. Emery putting in a very good performance in relief.
Yeah, 2 shutout innings. There's a swing. Oh, my. No swing is called. That makes the count 3 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter, the number 9 batter. Pitch is fouled back out of play. We'll do it all over again. We're in the 5th inning of a 7-inning ball game, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. Concezza battling up there.
Both these teams getting very well acquainted with each other over the weekend. Maybe by game 4 you have the full scouting report on certain players. We can sense it working pretty good at bat. 50-50 about to be chosen.
Breaking ball hangs up. It's hit out towards left field. And Tillman can't quite make the play, but he got out there. Man, is he fast. I don't know if we mentioned the amount after that of the 50-50 in the first game. It was $367. That's really up there. A couple of days ago we had one that was over $400.
On that play right there, Becker and Tillman both running after it. And Tillman managing to overrun something that was probably about 100 feet away.
He covered a lot of ground, that's for sure. Another 3-2 pitch. And popped up on the right side, and the catch is made out and right by Brady. And out number 1. A good battle between pitcher and batter, and Zuberbier won that battle.
You can sense it hitting another one down the line. But this one, much easier for Zackerson to get.
You know, when you think about it, he's hitting fouls down the right field side, down the left field side. You don't even know where to play the guy. Bunt, Harry on a bare hand. Got him. Nice play by Harry. Harry had a good break on that little grounder. He read it right away when the guy squared around. He was charging in hard. And if he doesn't barehand it, I don't think he gets him.
Most likely not. Barehand always a little bit difficult to do.
2 outs. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Matt Schuler, who counts for the lone Lombard run with that first inning home run. Well, you know, we thought we got not a very good strike call on one of our batters. It happens both ways. Schuler had a strike called on him that looked like clearly a ball.
I think the home plate umpire in this game pretty liberal with the outside of the strike zone. That one I think was low and outside.
I can remember umpiring a game, Charlie. You know what my mindset was when I walked out and went behind home plate? Nobody walks. We're going to open it up.
So, for example, in that game, that's still a strike regardless.
That might have been a strike that night. Nah, I wouldn't do that to you, CJ. Well, that ball is hit way deep. Same spot as the last one. And out of here. Right over the Northwoods sign for another home run. Schuler, again, victimizing the Sheboygan A's.
Schuler today has just had Zuberbeer's number. It was hit by a pitch, and that's the only thing that prevented him from a home run out to right center field.
He might get hit by a pitch again if he gets up. Alex Najera, center fielder, steps into the batter's box. There's 2 outs. Lombard now on top, 2-1.
Zuberbeer has been mostly pretty good in this game, but the big issue had been just the 2 long balls.
Yeah, take Schuler out of the lineup, and it's a shutout. Liner caught by Harry to end the 5th inning. But when we come back to finish the bottom of the 5th, Sheboygan will be down a run.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me smells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Getting ready to bat in the 5th inning is Jimmy Jurgensen. Jimmy doubled to left field. Last time up, drove in the only Sheboygan run this ball game. The offense being provided by Matt Schuler on Lombard's end. Jimmy hits one out to right center field. And not making the catch was a right fielder. He got there, but he couldn't hang on to it. Give Jimmy a long double to right. Jimmy using the whole field. Double to left center and a double to right center.
Nicolautis had a pretty good jump on that one, and I think he did get a glove on it, but just running it into the fence.
I couldn't see him. I got these two poles in front of me. I never caught wind of him until he got over to the side, and then I just barely thought you got a glove on it, but all of a sudden he's picking it up off the ground. Good attempt by him.
We were talking earlier about how sometimes plays at the fence can get a little bit difficult.
Yeah, they're tricky.
I was going to mention it when that happened, but I just couldn't quite remember who it was. But remember, not against the fence, but against the tarp, was Anthony Rizzo had made a catch standing on it.
Oh, that's right. We were talking. I think that was during the break we actually mentioned.
Yep, it was during one of the breaks because it was right after that because I was going to mention that I couldn't quite remember, and I need to feel a little bit better about some of my MLB facts. Can't have something wrong.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Palmquist sitting with a 1-1 count. We've got a runner on at second with nobody out. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Lombard up a run. Two and one.
I think there might have been a little bit of bated breath for that one because some of those ones that have been around that area have been called
strikes. That's part of the problem. You don't know what to expect. Ball hit out to center field and deep. Jimmy tagging up. And he's not going to go, and it's a good thing he didn't.
A very strong throw there by Najera. And I think he didn't have the greatest jump on it, but lofted up high enough that he's still able to camp under it. Get a strong throw off.
Caleb Lorbecki is 1 for 2 in the game. Ball up the middle and through. Are they going to send Jimmy? Yes, they are. Here's the throw. And the catcher is waiting and applies the tag. Boy, after seeing that throw to third by the center fielder, you thought he might have held him at third, but Tim sent him, and he was thrown out. On the throw, Lorbecki goes to second base, but now there's 2 outs. Justin Schnell coming in. Hopefully Schnell can come through with a base hit. Jera really showing off the gun.
We talked earlier in the game about some base running aggressiveness, and Timar, I think, just wanted to get the game tied up, maybe hoping for a throw that was off target. Throws just a little bit off target, then you could still potentially sneak in there, but that one right on the money.
Not in that case. I mean, the throw could have been even off more than... It was right on target there, but I mean, it could have been off because he was out by so many steps. But you got to admire, I guess, the aggressiveness, like you say.
I mean, it's getting fairly late into the both games of this first doubleheader. So thinking, all right, want to get at least one win against who I would assume might be now top of the league with their win in the last game.
I didn't look at the standings that closely. They just had West Allis Nationals on top and Lombard right below them. I didn't even see the records. There's a ball right at the first baseman, Schuler, and he makes the play on that line drive, and that ends the 5th inning. Was promising, but no scoring by Sheboygan after 5 complete. Lombard on top, 2-1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
At Northwoods, we are a family. And like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Carson Bressner now pitching for Sheboygan. His first appearance as a Sheboygan A. Eric Zuberbier pitched a pretty nice ball game, going 5 innings. Gave up 5 hits. The 2 home runs to Schuler were the only runs he allowed. Had no walks, 3 strikeouts. Part of Eric's problem was his offense. Didn't provide him with any runs. Through 5 innings, Sheboygan has left 10 runners on base. That's unacceptable. Nicolotis will lead off, be the first hitter that Bresser faces. We have no information on Carson, so I can't tell you anything about him other than this is his first game.
Couple of roster shuffles nearing the end of the season. As we were talking about with Zuberbier, it was mostly a pretty nice performance. You take out the Schuler at-bats, then you're fine with that performance. But with those, get 2 runs, and with the offense not producing against Lombard.
Yeah, it's tough to win if you're not pitching a shutout, the way our offense is performing. Bresser getting ahead, no balls and 2 strikes on this Lombard leadoff hitter, Pambo Nicolotis. Whoa, over the head of the batter.
One thing with this offense is that normally it's pretty decent. They score about 5 runs per 9 innings, according to opposing ERA. So maybe even a little bit more than that, considering unearned runs.
Walker measuring it and making the catch. Nicolotis is out on a fly ball to center. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Not much time left for Sheboygan. Nick Shue flew out twice to center field. Walker's been a busy outfielder. That was his 4th catch of the game.
Really, if there is one word to describe Gus Walker, it is reliable. He's played in every game. He's done a fantastic job out in center. I'm sure Tim Moyer was just wishing that he could have the same bat as he did last year, but sometimes he'll have a little bit of a slump from year to year.
He's 1 for 2 today, and he's going to lead off the 6th inning. Maybe he can get on him again. That'd be great.
Gus Walker as a leadoff batter, very dangerous because of the speed that he has. Especially with Tillman right afterwards. Could get 2 very quick people on base.
Pitch on the inside corner. Batter saying I got hit, but the home plate umpire is not having any of it. Stay here. 2-2 is the count. 1 out. And a strikeout. Dave Marshall, the Orioles shortstop, coming up again. Marshall was 0 for 3 in the first game, and he's 0 for 2 in this game. But his defense has been very, very good. So he's making contributions that way.
Lombard defense only making the one error on these two games, and that one a very difficult play to make as well.
First baseman, right at the very first play of the game. There's a line drive. That one sounded good. Out into right field.
Dave Marshall, a big part of that defense. I believe there were 2 6-4-3 double plays that were against Sheboygan last game.
See, they had 2 double plays, or we had 2 double plays on them, and they had 1 double play on us.
Really?
Yeah, ground ball 6-4-3. Lucas, you pretty smart in school. You remember a lot of stuff.
You know, Sheboygan's defense mostly been pretty good in this game.
Bouncing ball in the hole. Harry got his glove down, but it bounced underneath the glove. It goes through for a hit for Janenza. And now with 2 outs, Lombard has runners on first and second. And Fenner up.
Harry did have a pretty decent jump on that one, but wasn't able to get it. And I think even if he did get the glove on it, wasn't going to be able to make a play.
I agree with you there.
Tripped up a little bit on his own feet.
Russer was cruising, getting the first 2 hitters. Now he's in a bit of a jam. Where's that number 14? Well, Russer does. You know what famous major leaguer wore number 14? I'll give you a hint. He played for the Cubs.
Oh, there's a lot of people who have...
Ernie Banks. Ding, ding, ding for Lucas Schulze. Pop up. And Jacob makes the catch in foul ground, and that ends the 6th inning for the Orioles. And when Sheboygan comes up, they'll still be 1 behind, but Gus Walker will be leading it off.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Will Fletcher now pitching for the Orioles. Taylor Sikorsky went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Time for Sheboygan to get the offense going. Gus Walker will lead it off. Gus 1 for 2 in the ball game.
Singled and flew out, and that flyout was a very good hit out to right field.
You're right. It's a nice catch made out there by Nicolotis.
Turned him around a few times, but ended up making the catch regardless.
That's one of the things good teams do is they have good defense, and they don't give you an extra base, and They make you hit the ball, and we just haven't been doing that with any consistency. Ball tips off the helmet to Gus Walker, and with no balls and 2 strikes, we catch a little bit of a break, getting Gus on. Nobody out, and he definitely is a base-stealing threat. And Tillman's been an on-base machine this game with a single and 2 walks.
Anytime you have a pitch that ends up hitting the helmet, you always get a little bit worried. And MLB has tried to fix that a little bit. They do now have like the face protector helmets. We don't have those.
I think
down
that's
here,
almost a rule now. You have to wear that kind of helmet.
I'm pretty sure that was just player preference for the cheek protectors.
Walker hasn't gone yet. He's got a good lead over there. The ear flaps are definitely a must.
Yeah.
Tillman with a line drive out to right center. A diving attempt is not made by Nicolotis. Tillman sliding into second with a double. And Sheboygan with runners on second and third and nobody out.
Was mentioning it last inning, but this 9-1 for Sheboygan. Fantastic speed, and Tillman showing it off there. For most people, that's a single. You don't even try going for second, but Tillman was off to the races right away.
Harry Stelt up. Breaking ball in for a strike. Good take that time by Harry. Not a good start for Will Fletcher. Bouncing ball up the middle, and that gets through into center field. There's going to be a strong throw to the plate. Sliding in and scoring is Tillman. And Harry's in at second. Went to second on the throw. 2 RBI hit for Harry, and Sheboygan on top.
Stout not able to get good contact on the ball for most of this series so far, but that one just where it needed to go.
Yeah, it's like we've been saying all game, especially in game 1. It's not necessarily how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. And Lombard showed us how to do it in the first game. Harry did it right there, getting that ball to go through the middle and bringing home 2 runs. We lead it now 3-2. Still nobody out.
Really the key feature of that was Sean Tillman's speed.
Definitely.
Able to get to second right away with the double on something that would be difficult to get to, and then scoring on a strong throw from Najera.
1-1 is the count to Brady Zackerson. He's 0 for 2. He walked and scored. Had a good rip at that fastball, but fouled it straight back.
Brady came into the first game with a .929 OPS, nearly averaging a base per plate appearance.
Harry's got to feel pretty happy. That was a nice hit up the middle and came at a clutch time. Oh, not a good swing there by Brady. That brings up Northwood's cleanup hitter, Jacob Neese.
A lot of times, Neese usually hitting that 5-hole of Brady is Northwood's now changing up the order a little bit. I hope to see some success as Northwood's.
Still only 1 out in the inning. 2 runs in, Harry perched at second. Jacob on that inside pitch got around on it, but pulled it way foul.
That one looked pretty close to the hands, but it's a very strong swing from Nice. But again, as you said, very foul.
Harry, not much of a leadoff second. There he goes. Slow roller out the short. Marshall one-hands it. Guns a throw across. And safe is the call. Nice beats it out. Harry had to stay at second. No advance by him, but now Sheboygan has runners on at first and second. Only one out, and Jimmy's up. Jimmy with a couple of doubles in the ball game.
Nice able to beat that out by about half a step. And a good slot for Jimmy Jurgensen, who has been very good so far in this series of games. I believe, no, it was Brady that had the double in game one.
Jimmy in the series today is 2 for 5 with a couple of doubles. That first pitch looked low and in, but called a strike. Pitch in the dirt. Good stop by the catcher for Lombard, Kyle Jesnenza. Now this is the kind of situation you like. He's ahead in the count, 2-1. Pitcher has to come in. You know, this is a hitter's pitch right here.
You know, the way that Tim Youth at Sheboygan Lutheran always taught it was 2-1 or 3-1, you're waiting for a pitch that you could really hit.
Good coaching. That's why he's been the coach a long time. That and nobody else wants to do it. Oh, Jimmy. 2 outs.
I remember those drills. I was never good at any of the drills. That never was much of a hitter when I played baseball.
Yeah, me either.
I could field good. Could not hit.
Riley Palmquist up. Harry will be running like the wind with 2 outs. Sheboygan on top, 3-2. They will have the 9-1 and 2 hitters up. This would be a great come-from-behind win if we can pull it off. Sheboygan lost game 1 by a score of 4-2. A 3-run third. Sheboygan actually led 1-0, but a 3-run third put Lombard in the driver's seat. And they were able to ride that to a 4-2 victory. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Palmquist looking for a pitch to hit. I think we can say deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 runners on. And most importantly, Charlie, 2 runs in.
Lombard with 2 runs as well.
Charlie let it sit, huh?
Meanwhile, another interesting. Score is 2-3 right now. And Riley Palmquist, 23.
Yeah, he's got a 2 on his back.
2-3, lots of twos.
You know, I can see the numbers now. We're losing viewership.
Oh, we just lost 2 viewers. What a coincidence. Nah, I think we're gaining viewers with this.
We went from 6 to 4.
And Riley also playing second base. There's a 2 in there. We're finding a lot.
Gonna do it all over. 2-2 pitch. Riley hanging tough.
I think at this point the audience is hoping for another ball so we can get off the conversation of 2s.
I can get off the conversation right now.
Fine.
Fletcher with that breaking ball on the outside corner, but he couldn't get Palmquist to bite on it. It's now 3-2. So it gives us a bit of an advantage. Harry will get a running start, as will Nice over at first. And that pitch is outside for a ball, and that loads the bases for Caleb Lorbecki.
Lorbecki, haven't seen him much this season, but definitely in a big position right now.
You know, his most important contribution to the team this year was winning the musical chairs contest when he was one of the last two and picked up the chair and ran away with it. Let's see if he can top that right here with a base hit. He's got 2 in the game. Good fastball by Fletcher.
Lorbecki coming into this game, a really interesting slash line because he has his on base full 340 points ahead of his batting average. Took 4 walks in not too many plate appearances, so.
Well, he's got a good eye. Took a pitch there for a ball. It's 1-1. No room at the end for Fletcher. Ooh, good breaking ball in there for a strike.
I think a lot of the audience here at Wildwood thought that was a bit high. I think was the guess on that one.
Caleb fighting that fastball off. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count. Lorbecki, a couple of singles. Good breaking ball, but again, Caleb showing the good eye. Didn't bite on it, took it for a ball.
You got to think potentially anything that scores or anything that is hit could potentially score Nice as well.
Call, strike 3. Good breaking ball by Fletcher. He gets out of it, but not before Sheboygan takes the lead. And when we head to the 7th, it'll be Sheboygan 3, Lombard 2.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
The estimated hold time is now
And an interesting situation with our 50-50, we gave away $254, and the same guy who won our last 50-50 raffle also won this one. So definitely made out like a bandit in tonight's game.
Where's the 10th inning? Is he taking us?
And he's got the free beers at the Budweiser backstop.
Consenza, the number 9 hitter for the Orioles, will lead off the 7th. Sheboygan on top, 3-2. their first lead of the game. Let's hope we can hang on to it.
Bressner hoping to make a very nice Sheboygan A's debut.
Right. Carson Bresser on the mound. Pitch is popped up. I think Zackerson, yes. Brady comes in and makes the easy catch in short right field. Bresser retired the first 2 hitters in the 6th, but then gave up a couple of hits before finally getting Kyle Fenner to foul out. Hopefully he can eliminate the drama in the 7th. Kyle Gibson up. I'm not sure if that was a called strike or he didn't check his swing, but in either case, Bresser on top with a no ball, 1 strike count.
CJ, what school did? I think you were talking before that Bressner was from Whitewater.
So Carson Bresser, a Whitewater student.
Talking before the game how Whitewater good relief pitchers out there. Whitewater, Bressner playing for Sheboygan now.
Carson Bressner?
Bressner.
Okay. Ball is hit out into left, pretty deep, but Schnell makes the grab. Justin came in to pinch hit for Bennett Becker in the 5th, and then he remained in the ball game to play left field. 2 outs, Matt Schuler, last chance for the Orioles.
Really had Eric Zuberbeer's number, and Carson Bressner hoping to shut him down.
First time they're facing each other in this ball game. We mentioned Schuler 2 for 2 against Zuberbeer with those 2 home runs.
Now, I was thinking potentially, if you might be thinking to give him the Barry Bonds treatment, give him an intentional walk so you don't have to face him. But instead,
I don't think what you want to do is put the tying run on base. You want to keep it off base and make the guy hit. Little barking coming from the Lombard dugout on that last call. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sheboygan on the cusp of splitting this doubleheader with a 3-2 win. Breaking pitch just a bit outside. Bressner wanted that call. I don't blame him.
I think that's one that this 1-2 strike count might have been called a strike.
Pitch just a little bit outside also.
Seeing a little bit of and a lot of them, we mentioned this before in the game, but don't really know what you're going to get from the strike zone in this game.
2-2 is the count. Ball hit to short. Tillman can't make the play. Would have been a hard play.
I'd say single.
Give him an infield single. Yeah. Slow roller. It was like a do or die. And Schuler's got pretty good wheels. So we're going to give him a hit. And tying run is on base for Alex Najera.
That one took an awkward hop getting into Tillman's glove.
And that ball gets passed on a wild pitch. And just what we were not hoping for was the drama, and we've got it now with 2 outs and a runner on second.
Yeah. Bressner mostly been very good at keeping the ball at least in the range of Lorbecky, not really needing the catcher to move around too much, but it's the first wild pitch in the most crucial situation.
Jarrett can't check a swing on that. It's a strike, and that evens a count at 1-1. Infield defense, all the fielders are back except for Harry, who's even with the bag. Pitch is down and in for a ball. 2-1. Carson doing a long look in, finally gets set at the belt. Breaking ball way outside, makes it 3-1. Pombo Nicolotis waiting on deck. That pitch is out of the strike zone for a ball. In some respects, Charlie, I'm not too unhappy with that walk. It gives us a force at any base. There's something is hit on the ground. Tim Moyer is going to come out and talk to his pitcher. We've mentioned this before. We'll mention it again. Our next game will be tomorrow when we play Lombard again in a doubleheader. It'll be a 1 p.m. start. Look forward to bringing that to you. A big situation coming up for Pombo Nicolotis. He's playing right field today. In this game, he was at first base in the first game. Just knock it down, boys. Make a play. Got to force at any base. Ressner remains in the game. Breaking ball just a little bit up.
A lot of these that were strike calls before, at least again from our angle. Home plate could be seeing something a little bit different.
Their pitch in the dirt. 2-0. We got the first two batters on fly balls to the outfield. There's a pitch on the outside corner. Makes the count 2-1. Schuler taking a nice lead at second. Najera not too far off the bag at first. That pitch is outside, makes it 3-1. Ressner having trouble finding the strike zone all of a sudden.
Definitely trying to pitch around. Don't want to give up that hit, but don't want to give up a walk either in this situation.
And ball 4. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Nick Shue up.
Ressner taking a pretty long pause to just compose himself.
Yeah. You know that Shue will be waiting on that first pitch strike. I wouldn't be surprised if he's swinging. First pitch is up and in.
Question always is it calming himself down or is it getting in his own head?
Who knows? Had command of the strike zone throughout his first inning of work and through the first 2 hitters. Actually 3 hitters, even though Schuler got the single, and all of a sudden he's just lost it.
Must have been a little bit low.
3-0. No place to put this batter. We got to have a strike. 3-1. Ball up the middle. Tillman's got it, runs to the bag and tags it ahead of the runner, and that's 3 outs. Sheboygan wins by a score of 3-2 and splits the doubleheader. The winning pitcher is Carson Bressner, and the losing pitcher is Will Fletcher. Line score for us, 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Lombard, 2 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. We're going to see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock, for another doubleheader against these Lombard Orioles. And we look forward to bringing you that game. And until then, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you down the road.